So in this Archie story, we've got a great setup, a great first panel. Definitely shows you the setting. It's really clear where we are. We're in a suburban street. The first action is really clear. The garbage can bottom sort of falls. Archie, the main character, Archie's dad, I can't forget his name, coming off this angle sort of brings us from the sort of upper left of the panel, which is where we tend to begin our reading path from, and sort of pushes us into the middle where the story starts. Get the same basic visual here, except now Archie's arrived, right? So we still have full figures, which show us the setting, but also the relationship between the characters in the setting. Hey, Pop, the bottom fell out of your garbage can. Then the third panel, we get zoom in a little bit, so we can. This is going to be much more about the characters now, and much more about the relationship between the characters. Son, I don't know what I'd do without you, but I'd like to try. And when you get here at his great body language, this sort of straight back but round belly, because he's got a round belly, pushing Archie away. Archie's leaning. The tree here is leaning. There's a lot of, a lot of decent tension in this panel, or at least drama, because nothing is super straight, or nothing is super perpendicular anyway. Archie runs off in the direction that comics tend to flow, which is left to right. After the dad says, "Run down to the hardware store and get us a new can." Okay, Pop. So he runs off. Now this sequence here, these 4 panels, maybe even 5, I want to show you what's going on. Left to right movement, right to left movement, left to right movement, right to left movement, left to right movement. That is a great way to show that time is passing and a journey is happening. So he moves towards the screen, or towards the story, left to right here. Because it's still going on, we sort of feel a turn there, so now we're moving right to left. We didn't have to see him get in the car. We didn't have to see any of that stuff. This is a great transition from here to there, especially since we get that reversal. And now, same thing. We don't need to see him buy the can. The reversal from left to right now is really elegant. It helps us sort of, in our minds, we sort of change directions again, and making the leap that a substantial number of events have happened between this panel and that panel is not hard. Same thing here, it's moving right to left now, but Reggie appears in the panel. Hey, Arch. Oh, Reggie, wonder what he wants. The artist has gone out of their way to put a gleam on this garbage can, and here, and also here, so 3 panels of a gleaming, shining can. Don't you have things backwards here, Archie says, or Reggie says. What do you mean backwards, hotshot? The garbage belongs in the can, not the can in the garbage. You can almost hear a ha-ha. This is good because you want Archie's reaction. Archie being mad is the most important thing about this panel, not the joke, right? And again, I want to point out the nice angle. Reggie's at this great angle. Archie is at an angle. Lots of good angles here. Even if a slight one like this, there's also a rigidity here that's working really well. Okay. Are you calling this car garbage? Are you calling this garbage a car? So they're facing off, the garbage can right in the middle. It's kind of funny. It may be old, wise guy, but it runs. Old, my great grandmother traded one of these for a Stanley steamer. Yuck. More decent body language. Again, when it's about the characters interacting, you can get rid of the background. You can zoom in a little closer. Do notice though we haven't seen any super close-ups, and you may not even need them in a story like this. So yeah, I guess you're right, Reg. He's looking backwards. This is a little cheeky moment where he looks backwards because he's looking at the can, but he's also getting an idea. The garbage should be in the can. Reggie's got this question mark, and then boink, that's better. Now, honestly, to my mind, this is the only place I would argue with this comic storytelling. To me, there should be a little more of an effort to be showing that he's about to do something. And I think the artist did that with like taking the cap off a little bit, but to me, he should be already like lifting it up or something. Not enough so Reggie knows, but out of the seat, or something. Anyway, so that panel lands better. And frankly, I also think that shouldn't be straight up and down. I think it's a little bit dull. By this point, it's fine. The legs help him make it move and really funny. Anyway, That's better. He's still showing that gleam. This artist is really into that gleam. Arch, I'm stuck. Get me out of here. So we're watching that. Archie again. Archie's reaction is what's important here, but also the movement. So the artist stages it the way to get both of them in there. The dancing is in the distance. The reaction is in the foreground. And then Arch, help me. It's dark in here. And now again, we're just like pulling back a little bit so we can remind you that we're in a suburban area or whatever, because it's going to be important in this next scene, this next section, where he goes clang and then rolling, 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 rolling. It's pretty good movement. This is very traditional comic book movement. If you want to learn something about comic book movement, Archie's definitely a good place to watch. Notice all the directions now are left to right, 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 until here. So that's 4 panels in a row of left to right. And if we go back a page, it might be that too. So now this is like, again, when you flip flop a little, you sort of imply a little bit more time. So he's stealing my garbage cans, and also breaks visually, just breaks things up a little bit. Wham! Great panel. Again, moving left to right to the point where the eye stops is towards the end of the right panel. Bam. I'll sue you, dented my nice new garbage can. And Archie's walking off. Great wild panel of walking, shoes up. You'll notice another great thing about these classic Archies is the slight exaggeration to how people walk. You see it here. You see it here for sure. The slight exaggeration to how they run. Huge, like the arms real low, the legs real high. You can learn from that and take it and dial it back a little, but it's a real improvement on most people's beginning attempts at showing movement, which is usually a little too stiff. Anyway, rare instance of seeing the back of a car, but I guess that's like a sort of gentle, the game is over, the story's over kind of thing happening here. Yuck, I really got back at him that time. Good setting, like the setting is really super clear, the dad is super clear, him looking to the right, Archie coming in on the right. Everything is in order here. This is a pretty orderly, non-dramatic panel, so you do get lots of perpendicular lines, perpendicular to the borders. Where's the new Archie or garbage can, Archie? I put the garbage can and left it outside, Pop. Right? There's no drama there. There's not supposed to. This is like a lull in the story, and from here to there. Eep. This is new. Reggie put a few dents in it. By the way, notice the difference between this panel and that panel. In between here, Dad went out. Did he say, "Let me go see it. I want to go see it. I don't believe you. I can't wait to see it." Doesn't matter. It's a great transition from inside to outside checking it out. And now we have angles again. Reggie put a few dents in it. How? With a Sherman tank. And now we come back to page 2 or page 1 where we first saw Archie and Dad sort of at each other's throats a little bit. With a Sherman tank. Again, lots of angles, lots of body energy, lots of dynamic energy between the two characters and different kinds of shapes, both that the characters are made of and in between the characters. He rolled it down a hill and it hit a light pole. Honest, Pop. Now, again, appearing from the beginning of the panel, just like on page 1, the way the characters came in from that side. Let's go back and look at it. Right there. Right there. New addition to the story. Package for Mr. Archie Andrews for me. Go in the same direction. Going to open that thing up. Now we're changing the variety a little. Now the package is over here. We're looking this way. Then we go look that way. So a little gentle flip-flopping visually just to keep things interesting. It's from Reggie. There's a note attached. Look, he admits he damaged the new garbage can. He apologizes. By golly, he does. Great thing that the artist has done here is they made it so you want to know what's in the package. And one way they made you want to know is by showing it 4 times in a row before they open it. They're not going to let you forget that there's a package, an unopened package about to be opened. It's from Reggie. There's a note attached. All right, we saw that. By golly, he does. He says he's sending you a peace offering, a gift he knows you can use. Close up in the background, we get to see the unopening. Now we see the close up, the reveal, a box full of garbage. Great. It's a great story. It's a simple story. Um, and again, now that I look at it, I see no close-ups at all. And close-ups are the thing people, when they're starting out, usually draw. It's all middle shots. There's a couple long shots. There's a long shot. Um, but it's mostly middle ground shots. Sometimes we get close in on a character to get a good reaction. Um, Sometimes we zoom in just enough to let the drama unfold. But it's super clear storytelling and a great example of just super simple storytelling.